Live from the Grenadian capital, this is the GBN Television News. GBN, covering you from the Grenadine Island chain to Brooklyn, New York, via the World Wide Web on www.gbn.gd.
The news headlines is brought to you compliments GUT Credit Union.
Imagine having the home of your dreams. Imagine investing in that piece of property you can call your own. Imagine finally doing that home improvement project you've always been thinking about. It's time to stop imagining and start doing. Let the GUT Credit Union help you take the first step with fantastic rates, affordable repayments, and reduced legal fees. Make the move. Get better terms on your mortgage. Use your home equity to make those dreams a reality. Act now. There's really no place like home. GUT Credit Union. It's where you belong.
Good evening and welcome to the GBN Television News for Thursday, October 28th, 2021. In the headlines, Acting General Manager of GRENLEC says they are working with Public Utilities Regulatory Commission to address consumers' concerns. Chief Medical Officer predicts more deaths and hospitalizations as he warns Grenadians that COVID-19 is not yet over. Press Secretary to the Prime Minister, Philomena Robertson, marks 22nd marathon on November 7th with her aim to continue raising funds for Reach Within charity. Coming up and around the globe, new charges have been laid against former Petrojam executives in Jamaica. Internationally, Ukrainian authorities are clamping down on forged vaccine documents. Coming up in sports, Australia thrashed Sri Lanka to maintain 100% record in World T20. We'll bring you the details of these and other stories right after this.
Are you a small business and would like your business to grow? Do you have an event, products or services that people should know about? Be wise. Advertise. Book your spot on GBN Shopping Guide. Be part of Grenada's biggest advertising medium, the Grenada Broadcasting Network. Call our sales department now on 440-2446 or 440-3033 or GBN plus the number sign. Email us at sales@gbn.gd. Special conditions apply.
Good evening once again. Thanks for joining us. I am Blossom Alexis Welsh with the details. Top story this evening. Considerations are being given to reducing the non-fuel charge as Grenadians continue to cry out in frustration about a notable spike in their electricity bills. While government is pointing to the fuel service charge and increased usage by consumers as the rationale for such increases, Acting General Manager Clive Hostin, responding to the media, says GRENLEC is working with the regulator to address consumers' concerns. Gerard Joseph has that story.
Electricity has been directly impacted by the health crisis via the increase in the price of fuel. Efforts to reduce the fuel service charge have proven futile, at least in the immediate future. But what about non-fuel? The non-fuel charge has not risen since 2016, and according to Acting General Manager Clive Hostin, this is due to the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission being given the mandate to set electricity rates. Hostin says GRENLEC has been in discussions with the Commission on its system of computing the rates.
They had issued rate setting methodology, tariff setting methodology, documentation, and there has been public consultations, on that particular regulation and a number of other regulations over the last year and a half.
According to Hostin, the non-fuel component of GRENLEC's energy cost caters for the administration lines, power plant generation, and overheads. The Acting General Manager notes that GRENLEC had used a calculation for a non-fuel charge based on the cost of living. However, deliberations on a new method are ongoing.
And the new methodology will change. We'll go to a different type of system altogether based on rate base. It's still under review. We would have to do a lot of studies. In fact, cost of service study. There's a number of other studies that would have to take place until we come up with the final figure, final formulation.
Hostin says while negotiations and assessments are continuing, the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission is looking at an interim tariff,
which will address a number of factors. So these are things in the pipeline. It's very difficult for me to say exactly how it's going to pan out because it's still under consultation, it's still under discussions. With
no end in sight to high electricity bills, GBN and our government are advocating for energy conservation as the rigors of increasing cost of living and global food prices are at play in the middle of a pandemic and recession. I am Gerard Joseph, reporting for GBN News.
Meanwhile, government has admitted to a different approach going forward in the management of Grenada's lone electricity utility company, GBN. Finance Minister Gregory Bowen alluded to a significant cost factor as the justification for the change. Here's Gerard Joseph once again with the details.
On December 29, 2020, government announced along with the repurchase of GBN shares that it had approached the World Bank and the International Renewable Energy Agency, IRENA, to procure the services of a world-class management company to operate the utility company. That management company was expected to take charge of divesting the shares via public offering and advancing Grenada's objectives towards renewable energy while achieving lower electricity prices. However, 10 months on, Finance Minister Gregory Bowen says, due to the high prices of these management companies, government is forced to change its approach.
Working with the World Bank, they agreed that if we conduct a study, and the sense, that's why I said that we look at the personnel and all of the things in place. They will make recommendation as if they were the managers. Ideally, if you get a consultant, they do not want any executive position. So as opposed to getting that company that would have charged a significant amount of monies, we have tailored it now into a consultancy. A
consultancy will now be tasked, according to the Finance Minister, with operating GBN in cooperation with the current management.
And the consultancy will be working with the management of the company in the sense that we do not expect the management that we have there now to go against the recommendation, of the company. So it is in that context that we're moving forward, as opposed to a professional company coming in and taking everything and charging you a sum of monies that you figure you could get the same result with. And we have changed that approach together with the World Bank. Because first we were talking the management company in total, but you say you can get the same result by getting the consultant, and now you can guarantee that what they put forward will happen. So they need not the executive for which they charge you a significant amount of monies.
I am Gerard Joseph for GBN News.
Chief Medical Officer Dr. Sean Charles says the COVID-19 situation in Grenada is far from over, as the island has only experienced its first wave of the COVID-19 virus and may experience a second if the population diverts from following the protocols once again. We get more in this report from Rena Perry-Thomas.
Despite the drop in hospitalization and new active COVID-19 cases, health officials are warning the general public that the COVID-19 pandemic is far from over. Chief Medical Officer Dr. Sean Charles says Grenada now has to prepare for the future and do things differently to avoid the second wave of COVID-19.
By no means we are at the end of this fight against COVID. We can only look at the many examples from right across the region and right across the world. We are now emerging from this, our first wave, so we're not at the end. This will be the new normal for a little while. But we have accomplished a lot in the last few days with the cooperation of many Grenadians. We have also observed an outpouring of generosity from citizens, friends, partners both locally and internationally.
According to the latest COVID-19 dashboard, Grenada has 124 active cases, of which 6 are new. He said the Ministry of Health recorded a positivity rate of 2.3%, which he warns should not be underestimated, while applauding the level of protection the vaccine can give. The CMO outlined some of the things that should be expected going forward.
Well, we can expect to have low-level spread of infection for some time. Cases will spike if we create the conditions for this to occur, meaning that we abandon the public health protocols that protect us. Levels will be kept manageable if we do the right things. Hospitalizations and death, however, will continue at some level for some time.
Dr. Charles is appealing to Grenadians to not repeat their mistakes in letting their guard down and to follow all COVID-19 protocols, which will keep COVID-19 cases down. For GBN News, I am Rena Pett Thomas reporting.
The National Disaster Management Agency on Thursday issued a dust hazy advisory for the state of Grenada due to a combination of Saharan dust and volcanic ash in the atmosphere. Details in this Chrislina John report.
People suffering from respiratory illnesses are being cautioned as the island is presently experiencing hazy-like conditions. The Met Office at the Maurice Bishop International Airport have issued a dust hazy advisory for the state of Grenada. According to the advisory, the conditions are due to a combination of Saharan dust and volcanic ash from the Cumbre Vieja volcano on the Spanish Isle of La Palma, Canary Islands, resulting in reduced visibility across the state. These conditions are expected to continue over the coming days, varying in intensity. The Ministry of Health is advising people with respiratory challenges, such as asthma and other allergies, to wear a mask, avoid outdoor contact if possible, ensure you have an adequate supply of medication, and be in contact with a physician in the event such intervention is needed. NADMA further encourages motorists and marine users to exercise increased caution due to reduced visibility. La Palma eruption began in September this year. The ash seen is said to be floating around for about 1 week. The Canary Island Volcanology Institute in Volcan stated that a giant lava fountain of molten rock has gushed out of the volcano as recent as 2 days ago. River of lava rolling down the hillside are up to almost 3 kilometers wide. Chrislina John, GBN News.
Thank you, Chrislina. And that brings us to the end of the first segment of news. Coming up, Grenadian educator Dr. Cheryl Barnaby Bishop, Footprints, Social Studies text, especially for OECS primary schools. The details right after this.
There's a reason we have been here to serve you for the past 40 years. A reason we have continued to grow. A reason we have continued to celebrate. That reason is you. We have been here to help you plan for your future and here to help you celebrate your achievements. We continue to be here, even when the future seems unclear. Because one thing is certain, you're the reason we care.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you. Need a quick, convenient way to pay your bills and avoid lines? Use the online banking feature from Republic Bank, First Caribbean, or Co-op Bank. Contact them today to set up your online banking and enjoy 24-hour convenience to make your bill payments. Stay safe. Grenlec, we are united even when we are apart. Ridgeway Residences, a modern, exclusive residential community offered by Ariza. Purchase one of our completely built houses or let us build for you by simply choosing your lot, choosing your home design from our selection, and let us do the rest. Owning a home does not have to be a frustrating process. For more information, contact Ariza Credit Union on 415-0994 or send us an email on info@ridgewayresidences.gd. Ridgeway Residences, hassle-free home ownership.
Welcome to Nurses Care, a new home healthcare company on Ireland, changing the way you receive healthcare. From registered nurses and aides to medical doctors and qualified physicians, we offer a wide range of healthcare services, from monitoring chronic conditions and medications to elderly care, pediatric care, and maternity nurses, to even housekeeping and case management. We offer 24/7 in-house healthcare services. So contact us today for your in-house consultation at 439-3928.
GBN leads, the others follow. This segment is brought to you by Republic Bank. Republic Bank remains committed to providing all its valued customers with high quality and personalized service in a safe and comfortable environment. In order to maintain COVID-19 protocols while serving you, it has become necessary to arrange an appointment with your relationship officer or the customer service representative at your branch for the following products and services: loans, overdrafts, credit cards, new accounts to include savings, checking, certificate of deposit, and foreign currency, reactivation of dormant accounts, and private banking for existing customers only. You may also log on to our website, complete the application form for the service required, and submit via email to your specific branch. Requests for appointment can also be emailed to customerservice@republicgrenada.com or via private message on our Facebook page. For private banking service, kindly contact your specific branch via telephone. We look forward to welcoming you.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Welcome back. Grenadian educator Dr. Cheryl Bishop Barnaby Bishop has been chosen as a facilitator for a webinar organized by the OECS and designed around a new social studies material developed specifically for the sub-region. Named Footprints, the new text is geared specifically to primary school students. We get more in this Gerard Joseph report.
Footprints, according to Dr. Cherry Bishop, is a series of social studies textbooks designed for grades 2 to 6 at the primary school level. The Canadian educator will be the facilitator of a webinar next Tuesday, which targets regional teachers, other educational officials, and parents. Dr. Bishop tells GBN that students have been shortchanged in terms of textbooks pertaining to social studies, which is a core subject and encapsulates geography, history, and civics. The educator says this may now be reversed as the OECS recently introduced the standards for textbooks for primary schools, from which the Footprint series were birthed.
Not just only the OECS islands, but so far Jamaica and the other islands are truly on top of it all. And they're already registering, robustly to attend the webinar. Because at the webinar, I'll be highlighting the main features of the book. Okay? So one, I'll discuss the cover, because that's very essential, and the alignment of the standards with the text. And then what's delightful again is the fact that the book is written with scope and sequence, so that at every level, the teacher knows what concept, right? What has to be delivered at a particular time, and the order in which it must be delivered.
She notes the use of technology and the creative arts are deeply intertwined into the book.
And so it means that students will be able to participate, to be active participants during the class. What we've been longing for was student-centered classrooms, where students become at the core of the learning. If we look back at what's been happening, not just only in Grenada, but throughout the region, chalk and talk stands out still, and much of what we teach, maybe over 100 years ago, much change hasn't been done.
Dr. Bishop believes the Footprint series have uncovered new strategies for teachers to use within their classes.
And on that note, I would say that the book lends itself as well to authentic formative assessment strategies, meaning real life experiences. So the students can engage and get out, get to the parents' kitchen, get outside in the yard and do. So the doable becomes, or the action comes to the fore. And that's very important when our children can develop those skills.
The educator says parents can also be engaged alongside their children while using the textbooks. I am Gerard Joseph for GBN News.
In other news, Press Secretary to Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell, Philomena Robertson, is well known for her work with the government of Grenada, but many may not be aware of her charitable side. Chrislina John chats with Ms. Robertson, who prepares to mark a historic event in support of Reach Within.
Grenada's press secretary to Grenada's Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell is Philomena Robertson, and this year she is making a historic personal achievement as she prepares to hit the pavement running on November 7th, marking her 22nd marathon. Apart from being her passion, Ms. Robertson will do so in support of a local charity, Reach Within, for which she has run 5 times in the past, dating back to 2011. Understanding how seriously COVID has affected the fundraising efforts of Reach Within, Ms. Robertson wants to do her part so that the organization can continue its important work. Robertson speaks of preparation for the upcoming event on November 7th in New York City. The marathon, she explains, will be run through 5 boroughs covering 26.2 miles.
In terms of preparation, that's an interesting question. I try to run often. I don't always get to be consistent because of the demands of job and just life in general. But I've been doing some running. I don't feel thoroughly prepared, but I know that once I start that journey, I will complete it. And for the children that I support, what I'm doing on that single day is not, it's just a small measure of what they have to endure throughout life.
Robertson, who has completed marathons across the United States of America and in the Caribbean, tells of what inspires her to keep going.
What keeps me going is that I really find running as a way to keep fit, of course, to maintain a healthy lifestyle. And in terms of doing the marathons for Reach, just being able to use my willpower to lend support to the cause. I mean, the marathon is it's a huge challenge.
Reach Within is a non-profit organization that has been working with Grenada's most vulnerable children and teens since 2005. Its mission is to help transform trauma suffered from abuse or neglect into healthy living. It strives to help children and teens thrive against any odds.
Reach Within has been doing a significant amount of work in Grenada. There are children within our society who are vulnerable, who've been traumatized. So the work of Reach Within really seeks to assist these children, to give them a better chance at life, really. They use various means. They use yoga, they use rhythm, different things just to redirect the brain from these negative experiences so that the children can go on to have positive lives as young adults and even further on in life. So for me, it is really an honor to support that kind of initiative. And I will continue doing it for as long as I can.
Reach Within supports the work of the Child Protection Authority, a division of the Ministry of Social Development, Housing and Community Empowerment. Robertson shared this health tip with individuals for a healthier life.
I want to use this opportunity really to encourage persons. You don't have to necessarily be an avid runner, but just being active. whether it's if you're only capable of walking, just get out there and walk. Just maintain an active and healthy lifestyle, particularly at this time. The pressures that the pandemic has put on us, it makes it even more important, that we take care of ourselves.
Christelina John, GBN News.
And it's that time of the night where we bring you health updates. For this week's GBN Health Edition, Krista Campbell zeroes in on a serious condition associated with COVID-19.
When you need your prescription filled or you require non-prescribed medication, supplements, or all your personal needs, visit Gittins Healthcare at locations on Wall Street, Grand Anse, Victoria Street, Brentwood, and Central Deputy Street, Wharf. Gittins Healthcare aims to provide an exceptional personalized pharmacy experience. Additionally, children under 5 and adults 55 years and over will enjoy 10% discount on purchases of $20 and over on prescription medication. Stop settling for less. Visit Gittins Healthcare, where your health is our priority.
Organs. The children with MIS-C contracted COVID-19 or had been around someone with a confirmed case of the virus.
What we know about MIS-C is that it appears to be a delayed response to COVID-19 infection. Many of the children that have presented with MIS-C have either an infection with the novel coronavirus that causes COVID-19 or have had an exposure to somebody who has had a confirmed case of COVID-19.
MIS-C can be serious and even deadly, but most children who were diagnosed with this condition have gotten better with medical care. As such, while health officials have not discovered any cases of MIS-C in Grenada, it is still essential for parents to look out for the signs and symptoms of the syndrome.
The thing that we want parents to look for is fevers, especially high fevers that are lasting more than 4 days. We want to know about kids who have fever with rash, abdominal pain, diarrhea, red eyes, swollen hands and feet, anything in that description, especially if it's with fever.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, and the National Institute of Health are working with several doctors and researchers to learn more about MIS-C and improve diagnosis and treatment of the condition. Although MIS-C has not been detected in Grenada and other Caribbean nations to date, health officials across the region remain on high alert. For this week's health update, I am Krista Campbell reporting.
And now let's turn our attention to what has been creating a buzz on social media. Rena Perry-Thomas has been looking around the platforms.
We present the news. You analyze the various topics and distill the issues as they unfold. Your distillation points matter as we're about to highlight them in our Social Buzz Report.
Finance Minister Gregory Bowen says despite the promise made upon the repurchase of Grenlick that consumers will see a decrease in their electricity bill, such a relief will not be witnessed until 2030. Minister Bowen was addressing the drastic increase customers have experienced and possible measures government is considering alleviating the cost on Grenadians' pockets. GBN brought this story and you, our online audience, took to the comment section to air your views. Daniela said, so what's we supposed to do until 2030? Light candles because we can't buy kerosene and family gather around street lights until we're ready to sleep? Or you put people on lockdown and talking nonsense about how much electricity was consumed over weekend lockdown? So what people had to do? Shut off lights since 6 o'clock and go to their bed? Marcus wrote, this man is crazy. If people cannot sustain this now, how are they making it in 2030? NMP deception has really catch up with them. You reckless evil plans is again exposed. Ron says, come 2030, this government needs to stop their nonsense. Why didn't they just leave the previous company to run the electricity business? That's unacceptable. Allison commented, did he say 2030? This is madness now. This man go back there to do what? I need you to go out and buy candles and start to distribute to the public that That's the buzz for now. Continue to share your thoughts and concerns with us on our social media platforms.
And still ahead, Osprey Lines resumes inter-island travel. This is GBN News at 7. More next.
Get ready for Sunday, October 31st from 6 p.m. as Megaforce Promotions presents the 31st edition of YT Virtual Bingo.
This time you can win
$12,000 US. Tickets cost only $12 US. But wait, if you purchase 2 tickets, you only pay $20 US. Get your tickets now from numerous box offices island-wide in Grenada. Or if you're playing overseas, tickets are only available at GoToBet.com. Sunday, October 31st. Join the fun online when you play YT Virtual Bingo. The new way to play bingo.
Running low on groceries? Why not visit realvalueiga.com and experience our new online shopping platform? Place your order, then go out and enjoy your day to spend more time with friends and family. Delivery available within select locations or in-store pickup available. Sounds simple, right? It is. Stress less, live more with Real Value IGA online store, where good food begins.
Effective Monday, November 1st, the St. George's branch of CGI, Consumers Guarantee Insurance Company Limited, will be moving to its new location at Steele's Commercial Complex, Grandance, St. George's. Our telephone and fax numbers will remain the same: 440-0217 and 440-6447. We apologize for any inconvenience caused by this relocation, and we look forward to serving you.
Hassle-free loans for your every need. Cards have you covered, best believe. Cards Ready Cash is for everyone. Not to worry, fast approval. Hurry up and come. We got it all. We on the go. Cards Ready Cash, you already know. We got it all. We on the go. Cards Ready Cash, always ready when you're ready. Let's go.
Cards Ready Cash. Ready when you are.
What does it take to be an amazing woman? Lots of me time. Amazing women are classy, fancy, and a little sassy. It's the drink for me. Cheers. Sometimes you've got to show them who's boss. Alpha male? Nah, alpha females are more amazing. Cheers to securing the bag. We make time for ourselves, for work, friends, and we certainly make time for passion. We're simply amazing. Amazing cream liqueur for the amazing woman in you.
Let's get tough on breed larceny. It will destroy our economy. Larceny threatens our food security. Can hurt us locally, hurt us globally. To all the buyers, ask for license from all produce sellers. To all the people, from police for them thieving fellas. To all the families, don't steal produce from your brother. Then you sell it to traffickers, hotels, and street vendors. Nah, man. Let's do all we can to stop radio larceny. New vigilance, new laws, and a tough judiciary. Stop Grenada's organized business crime. It's time.
To report pre-deal larceny, call 300.
Welcome back. Inter-island traveling has resumed between Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique. The restriction was a move by the government to curb the spread of COVID-19 on the island due to the recent spike of the Delta variant in the country. Rena Perry-Thomas has more.
As of Wednesday, the 28th October, Osprey Lines, the main passenger ferry service between Grenada and the sister isles, resumed the services to the general public. The ferry will be operating every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, twice per day between islands. Minister for Carriacou and PT Martinique Affairs, Kendra Matthew-Stewart, says that for more than 2 months, travelers were forced to stay put after government implemented restrictions to curb the spread of COVID-19. She said she is happy the service is now available.
So as it is now, commencing today, there will be no longer a need to have a travel authorization to travel between Grenada and Carriacou and vice versa, or for one to subject themselves to a rapid antigen test prior to travel. As a result of same, Osprey, which is a passenger ferry, are now authorized to travel, not authorized to conduct its usual course of business. As a result of which they have published their schedule of trips back and forth, and it's something that we greatly appreciate at this time, because we know, yes, while we are trying to fight and we are trying to deal with the COVID-19 situation, it was necessary for persons to be able to move back and forth.
The minister said that owners of the ferry have been given their full cooperation to the authority throughout the pandemic to fight the spread of the virus in Carriacou and Petit Martinique.
Cooperation in this regard. Throughout the period, I've had extensive discussion with them. As a matter of fact, I would have spoken to them on Saturday of last week, indicating that this is where government was going and what we were doing, and for them to get ready to commence operations today. And they have cooperated, and hence the reason why we are seeing them back up today. Osprey has already given their commitment, as per usual, to ensure that passengers continue to wear their masks and they continue to observe the social distancing while on board, and that temperature checks and hand sanitizing takes place upon entry.
Passengers are also reminded to adhere to all protocols stipulated to access the services offered. For GBN News, I am Rena Pett Thomas reporting.
A group of young people over the past months were engaged in a geo-information system mapping exercise for the National Water and Sewage Authority, NWASA, as part of the Climate Resilient Water Sector in Grenada project, G-Cruise. In this report, they speak of their experiences and how the data gathered will assist the country's water company to further improve its operations and delivery to customers.
Building a climate-resilient water system begins with adequate and accurate information. The National Water and Sewage Authority is making significant strides in addressing the issue of leakage throughout its infrastructure. This is being carried out in collaboration with the Climate Resilient Water Sector in Grenada project, G-Cruise. A team of 9 young male and female are essential to the change required to build the resilience. A team of 9 young male and female are essential to the change required to build the resilience of its water supply against negative climate change impact. Their role is to gather data related to the utilities' water supply infrastructure, inclusive of pipes, sewer systems, meters, and wells across the country. The data is then digitalized and entered into the utilities' geographic information system, the GIS. The experiences were shared.
I heard about this opportunity through a social media platform, and I applied because it aligned with my career path of the choice, which is environmental specialist. My expectations were to get a glimpse of what my future field would entail.
I heard about this opportunity from a woman scholarship program that I was in. I decided to apply because I wanted to help NWASA better its water services, as well as contribute my part to climate change.
I would describe my experience for the past 5 months as occupational training. I got the opportunity to explore a new technology, that of GIS, and how it would be beneficial to NWASA in finding and identifying leaks, evidently leading to water conservation.
The GIS mapping exercise is an activity under the G-Cruise project, providing an unconventional work opportunity for the young professionals, thereby combining digital skills with experience in the water sector.
The data that I have gathered will benefit NWASA and by extension Grenada, because the pipelines that we are currently recording, after post-processing, they will be able to put it on a map, so there will be better identification of the assets. There will be leakage reduction.
The challenge that will benefit from this project because it allows for easy identification of leaks when reported by customers and enable them to see how much water is lost, so they can implement measures to save more, leading to cost efficiency and in the future happier customers.
The GIS system is a modern digitalized approach intended to significantly improve practices in asset management, decision-making, and coordination of operations. The ultimate benefit is an adequate water supply to all consumers. The climate-resilient water sector in Grenada, G-Cruise, is partially financed by the Green Climate Fund, the German government, and the government of Grenada. Chrislina John, GBN News.
It's time now to take a peek through the GBN eyesore lens.
A good eye catches all. GBN eyesore is brought to you by Clear Vision.
Life is beautiful if only you can see it. Clear Vision Eye Center helps you do just that. We provide expert service, classy eyewear, and cutting-edge technology, all with a quality customer experience. See better, feel better, and look better. Meet us today at clearvisiongrenada.com or call 444-0055, WhatsApp 409-0055, or follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Clear Vision Eye Center. Let's see life and the world with a clear vision.
Have you ever seen lemongrass grow this tall? Well, our eyesore reporter captured an over 9 feet tall lemongrass in Moran St. John. Lemongrass, scientifically known as Cymbopogon, contains approximately 55 species of grasses. This nutritious herb has several positive health benefits. In fact, it has been found to be an effective cleanser that detoxifies the liver, pancreas, kidney, bladder, and the digestive tract. It also works to reduce the levels of uric acid, cholesterol, excess fats, and other toxins in the body. Our citizen journalist boils this herb to make lemongrass tea. We thank our eyesore reporter for this submission. Send us your photo and video submissions via WhatsApp on 405-3052 or our other social media platforms.
Stay with us. The weather report and forecast is up next, followed by sports and our probe around the globe.
We support you at every stage of your life.
For business,
for your education,
for your financial freedom,
for that new ride.
Upgrade your life with the Communal. Contact us today.
Continue breastfeeding after an emergency or disaster. Breast milk provides all the nutrients your baby needs for the first 6 months of life. Breastfeeding is safest for babies at a time when water may be limited and unsafe. No need to worry about mixing formula. Breast is best. Forget the rest. A message from the Grenada Food and Nutrition Council in collaboration with the Ministry of Health with support from PAHO.
Are you looking for quality herbs and herbal supplements, or are you thinking about having a complete body cleanse to jumpstart your health? Then no need to look further. Visit Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center, and Natural Health Store. We carry a wide range of herbal products for kidney and gallstone cleansing, male sexual enhancement formulas, asthma and sinusitis, gas and bloating, acid reflux, constipation, arthritis, imbalanced hormones, female health issues, liver cleansing, weight loss, and so much more. Also available, colonic irrigation, holistic health consultations, essential oils, and diffusers. Look out for our online natural health store coming soon. Call 231-6642 for 18-7115 or 449-7753 to find out about our delivery options or to book an appointment. Visit us at Belmont St. George's, close to the Foliage, Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Nirvana Natural Health Clinic. Detox your way to health.
Introducing Color by Sissons. 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 Color by Sissons.
Good evening, sporting fans. We bowl off with cricket tonight. While West Indies cricket fans are still mulling on the latest blow, renowned cricket author Nasser Khan is pointing to poor planning and selection issues for damaging the Windies' chances in the World T20 tournament.
Indian fans are mortified and of course disappointed following the display of the men in maroon at the T20 World Cup currently taking place in the UAE. Among those feeling the hurt is Trinidadian cricket author Nasser Khan, who has written books such as The History of West Indies Cricket Through Calypsos and 61 Test matches played at the Queen's Park Oval, to name a couple. Having lost their 2 warm-up games, Khan was hoping the West Indies would have learned from their mistakes going into the matches against England and South Africa, which instead resulted in 2 more defeats.
Planning was it there? It seems as though it wasn't. In hindsight, I don't know. It's more disappointing. The losses, I would say, it's more the disappointment of the lack of planning that would be so. That is clear and obvious to the fans watching on who analyze and obviously want to have a say.
Khan says the team selection leaves a lot to be desired. He also feels there is an obsession to continuously pick the out-of-form Chris Gayle, who had scores of 13 and then 12. The next assignment for Karen Pollard and his troops is against Bangladesh on Friday. Khan gives the West Indies the edge, but warns that the men from the subcontinent cannot be taken lightly.
Expectations going into the next game against Bangladesh is that hopefully we will win, but if we have not examined and have reflected upon the failures of the past 4 games, meaning the 2 warm-ups and the England and South Africa games, then we would lose.
The cricket author feels there is a lack of transparency in the selection process. He says Roger Harper and company have to come up with more tenable points, especially when providing explanations on player fitness, which left many fans and even journalists totally nonplussed. Vinod Narwani, T6 Sport.
It's do or die for the West Indies when they face off against Bangladesh. That match bowls off 6 a.m. Grenadian time. Meanwhile, Australia maintained their 100% record at the Men's T20 World Cup with a dominant 7-wicket win over Sri Lanka. Chasing 155 for victory, opener David Warner hit a fluent 65 from 42 balls when he fell in the 15th over. Australia needed only 25 runs. Steve Smith with an unbeaten 28 and Marcus Stoinis completed the job with 3 overs to spare. Sri Lanka's 154 for 6 had looked competitive on a slow pitch, but their bowlers struggled as openers Warner and Aaron Finch, who made 37, shared 70 to set Australia on their way. Australia and England meet in Dubai on Saturday, when one team's perfect record so far must come to an end. And finally, in football, the wish by Jamaica football fans to watch the Reggae Boys play inside the National Stadium could materialize towards the end of January 2022. This was revealed on Tuesday by local government minister Desmond McKenzie and was also expounded on in Parliament by Prime Minister Andrew Holness. More in this report.
January 27 is the date earmarked for the possible return of football fans to the National Stadium to witness the Reggae Boys in action. On that day, they will host Mexico in a return leg CONCACAF World Cup qualifier. Having had 2 failed attempts to get fans to attend the World Cup qualifiers at the National Stadium, the Jamaica Football Federation made another plea to the government for spectators to be in attendance on November 16 when the Reggae Boys will meet the United States at the office. However, local government minister Desmond Desmond Mackenzie has announced that while fans will not be able to be physically present at the November 16 contest, the possibility of permitting fully vaccinated spectators to attend the next qualifying home game in January is being explored. November 16 will mark Jamaica's 24th anniversary since qualifying for its first and only FIFA World Cup to date. Jamaica is the only team in the CONCACAF final round of World Cup qualifying which is not allowed spectators inside its designated home stadium. In a release from his ministry, Mackenzie said a meeting was held on Tuesday involving the Ministry of Local Government and several of its agencies. Minister Mackenzie noted that they examined the possibility of allowing fully vaccinated spectators to attend the November 16 game, but concluded that given the delicate stage of managing the pandemic, as well as the extensive logistical inputs needed to ensure that only vaccinated persons enter the venue, it was impractical to give the green light for public access to this game. However, Minister Mackenzie said discussions would continue regarding the possibility of allowing fully vaccinated fans for the January 27 encounter. He said the consultations will be influenced by the continuous monitoring of the COVID-19 indicators in the country, including the positivity rate. The minister said once a decision is arrived at, an announcement will be made in due course. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Andrew Holness also addressed the issue while speaking in Parliament on Tuesday.
I know many persons would have loved to witness the match in the stadium. It may be a possibility in home games to come, maybe not the next one, but maybe the one after.
The Prime Minister added that going forward, the government's decision on gatherings will be guided by the World Health Organization. In the meantime, the local government minister concluded that the government will take all responsible measures to promote the return of spectator participation in sport in the safest way possible in the shortest possible time. The Reggae Boys' next World Cup qualifying match will be away to El Salvador on November 12. The Reggae Boys are currently 6th in the 8-team group on 5 points. Spencer Darlington, TVJ Sports.
And that's a look at tonight's sports roundup. Stay tuned. Global developments are next. Welcome back. Let's take a look what's happening across the globe. Tonight we start in Jamaica, where new charges have been laid against former Petrojam General Manager Floyd Grindley and former Chairman Bahadur Singh in their fraud case. Grindley was facing 8 counts of aiding and abetting, obtaining money by means of false pretense, while Singh was to answer to 12 charges related to US $73,620 that he allegedly improperly obtained as chairman of the oil refinery. We get more in this report.
The trial for the 2 former Petrojam executives charged with financial crimes has been pushed back until May 2022, and with a development, new charges. Former Chairman Dr. Percival Bahadur Singh was initially charged with obtaining money by means of false pretense, and former General Manager Floyd Grindley for aiding and abetting the process. But now the prosecution revealed that they will no longer proceed with those charges on what should have been day 1 of the trial. Instead, the men will be charged with fraudulent conversion, aiding and abetting fraudulent conversion, conspiracy to defraud, and 1 count each of obtaining money by means of a false pretense.
Now, according to the prosecution, an application was filed on October 4 for live links in at least 3 different jurisdictions, that is the UK, Canada, and Barbados. But the defense attorney argues that the prosecution's case is in disarray, citing that the trial, which was expected to start today, has not only been pushed back, but has new charges.
KD Knight is the attorney representing Floyd Grindley, while Bert and Bianca Samuels have been retained by Dr. Percival Bahadur Singh. Members of the defense team say they're not fazed by the new charges and are certain of their client's innocence. The charges stem from business trips that Dr. Bahadur Singh was reimbursed for in his capacity as head of the oversight body of Petrojam, but the records reveal he never took those trips. The trips were allegedly between December 2016 and May 2018. The total, $73,620 or approximately 10 million Jamaican dollars at the time. The new trial is scheduled for 3 weeks beginning May 9, and until then, the former Petrojam executives can return to the United States, where they both reportedly live. Jamila Maitland, TVJ News.
Over in St. Lucia, the frustration of residents of Ancillary came to a head early today with the establishment of physical barriers to traffic along Pittybrook Road. There have been perceived negligence on the part of Region Quarry Limited. However, response to the situation by the company's head describes miscommunication as being at the heart of the issue.
Frustration over safety of residents and the nuisance of heavy dustfall bubbled over in the community of Ancillary today, with residents erecting barricades within a main street to prevent the passage of what they deemed the cause of their woes until a solution was found. The target of their action, heavy-duty transport trucks carrying materials mined from a nearby Pumice mining pit operated by RG Quarry Limited, a subsidiary of CIE Limited, of which businessman Reno Gajada is the managing director. Pumice sand is transported to the company quarry in cul-de-sac for processing. However, the point of concern raised by residents is that the material transported through the community leads to an abundance of dust. Additionally, reports of injuries to residents from a grill damaged by vehicular traffic emerged. Speaking to NBC Prime, company representative Anselm Clausel commented on the chain of events leading to the disruption in traffic, noting that complaints had been registered earlier in the year. However, a scheduled walkthrough of the community to determine issues and a solution had to be rescheduled due to the ongoing pandemic. Clausel also addressed the concerns listed by residents with regard to a compromised grill, noting that the issue had been previously assessed. According to Clausel, despite previous protests by individuals on absence of efforts by the company to positively contribute to the development of the area, the rehabilitation to the Venus Road near the grill in question had been undertaken with all costs absorbed by CIE Limited.
I was reminded by a member of the council this morning that we were the ones who painted the bridge and did some repairs on the bridge. And I didn't even remember that because, you see, we've always been accused of having popular, but the simple reality is we maintain schools. We maintain about something like 10 or 12 schools around the island.
According to Clausel, the company will continue to undertake initiatives expected to contribute to national development. Efforts by NBC Prime to contact community representatives proved unsuccessful. Ibetalium, NBC Prime.
And internationally, Ukrainian authorities are clamping down on a flourishing black market in forged vaccine and test documents as the country experiences some of the highest death rates from COVID-19 in the world.
This is the moment Ukrainian police raided a doctor's surgery that is allegedly involved in a flourishing black market in forged vaccine and COVID-19 test certificates. This operation is just one of hundreds of criminal investigations publicized by the authorities. In another case, law enforcement caught a man hawking fake vaccine certifications on social media. Charging $114, he would arrange for a doctor to enter people's names as vaccinated on the national database, according to a statement by the Prosecutor General's office. The government has made shots compulsory for some state employees, and unvaccinated citizens face restrictions in certain venues. These new rules provided more incentive for those who do not want vaccines to get fake ones. Tatiana Mikhailivska, head doctor at the Infectious Diseases Department at Kiev Hospital No. 3, said buying those certificates was, quote, probably the worst crime committed against the country and our society.
If a
person has bought a COVID certificate, it means he can get infected but not ill yet. He can then infect a lot of people with coronavirus, who will afterwards bring the infection to their families. Then the families will get ill. Then some of them with severe symptoms will be admitted to the intensive care units and will occupy beds there and will die. And then the COVID-19 epidemic will never ever end.
Ukraine is experiencing some of the highest death rates in COVID-19 in the world. It lagged behind its neighbors in procuring vaccines earlier this year. And now it is struggling to persuade a skeptical population to take them. Only around 7 million out of 41 million Ukrainians are fully inoculated against COVID-19. Surveys also suggest around half of the adults do not want to be vaccinated. Ukraine's Deputy Interior Minister Yevgeny Yenin said on Tuesday the country is drowning in forged vaccination certificates. He added that those found guilty would not escape punishment and encouraged people to get vaccinated.
And that's it for our look at what's happening regionally and internationally. Stay with us. A recap of the headlines is next. Let's take a look back at what made the news this evening. Acting General Manager of GBN says they are working with the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission to address consumers' concerns, while government shifts plans from a management committee to a consultancy firm to manage the company. Chief Medical Officer predicts more deaths and hospitalizations as he warns Grenadians that COVID-19 is not yet over. Philomena Robertson marks 22nd marathon on November 7th with her aim to continue raising funds for Reach Within. Regionally, new charges have been laid against former Petrojam executives in Jamaica, and internationally, Ukrainian authorities are clamping on forged vaccine documents. In sports, Australia thrashed Sri Lanka to maintain 100% record in World T20. That brings us to the end of the GBN Evening News for today, Thursday, October 28th, 2021. If you missed any part of this newscast, a repeat of it will be broadcast at 10 o'clock tonight. Continue to follow us online at www.gbn.gd or on GBN Television Facebook page and YouTube channel for these and other top stories. On behalf of the entire news team, I am Blossom Alexis Welsh. Enjoy the rest of your thankful Thursday.